Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 19 shows us Ryu versus Sarada, Mitsuki, Arya, and Yodo. But I have to wonder, what if Ryu fights another opponent? What would happen if we saw Ryu versus Gaara? Like, that's what this whole thing is about, is that Ryu is going to go to the iron sand ball that's protecting Gaara, even though he's like mortally, like he's bleeding, internally, and he's trapped inside of that iron sand ball, and they're trying to get to him before they do, and it's a whole thing, right? But what if Ryu and Gaara fought head to head? And obviously I think the assumption or the belief is that Gaara doesn't stand a chance against Shinki, or like that's the idea, is that Shinki is better than Gaara because of his iron sand ability, and iron sand is stronger than regular sand. But I think Gaara has a lot more, I don't know, skills maybe. I think that there's definitely potential for Gaara to beat Shinki, although the iron sand is more, I guess the iron sand is a lot more durable, it's a lot stronger, but it isn't anything that can't be overcome or beaten, right? I think that because their jutsus are so similar, it's like, okay, he's upgraded, so he's obviously stronger. Now, when I say Gaara versus Ryu, right? Like Gaara versus Shinki, it can be assumed that Shinki's stronger. Like that's not a dispute. And Ryu is the Shinju version of Shinki. So it's like easy to figure that out. But for Gaara versus Ryu, like, I guess it's pretty easy to be like, yeah, Gaara doesn't stand a chance, he can't win, yada yada yada. But maybe there's some sort of like sand jutsu principles or like manipulation that he can do to like work it all together. You know what I mean? Like iron sand is still sand. Although, I guess he can't really control that kind. He just controls the regular kind. But you know what I'm trying to get at here is that maybe Gaara has some sort of secret technique or some way to basically fight himself or go against Shinki should anything be a problem in that kind of aspect or in that kind of like scenario. But Gaara versus Ryu, I think definitely Gaara needs some help. They all need help, right? Like, nobody can fight Ryu alone. These Shinju are a huge problem, and Gaara versus Ryu definitely needs some help from, obviously, Arya would be a great choice. Yodo's a great sensory ninja. I'm trying to think of, like, Tamari and Kankuro, but, like, I mean, what if they, you know what I mean? I don't really know what their feats have been, right? They haven't really done a whole lot, but I'm just going to assume that, like, Gaara is the main, like, attacking force against them, and then I'm just putting it into this scenario. If, like, Gaara was fighting Ryu with the kids, with everybody, right? I think that they would have, obviously they would have a much better chance, but in this scenario, Gaara versus Ryu, it's obviously Ryu, right? I think that's the easiest part, is that Gaara doesn't really, he could fight, but he wouldn't be able to like beat him, without some help, without a team around him. So this being the team, the 5 of them versus Ryu, it seems like they have a stronger chance, and I think that they also just probably work better together, right? Like, if Gaara was there, he would be able to protect everybody with the sand against the claw grimes, against, that way he could protect Yodo, and Arya didn't have to swing his sword, and vice versa. And it's just like, everybody, he's there to defensively protect everybody, and he can stay in the back and out of harm's way, so he can protect Sarada and Mitsuki against Ryu's iron sand with his own sand, right? He might not be able to physically hurt Ryu, but he might be able to block some of his attacks. So there's that. There are any number of possibilities with their long-range sand abilities. But to the point, Ryu versus Gaara is pretty interesting. I want to see what Ryu thinks when he sees Gaara face to face. And the same way that Matsuri feels that way against Konohamaru when they meet face to face, and Hidari when he sees Sarada face to face, and when like Jura was looking for Naruto but he came across Himawari, there's some sort of like a want from them, and obviously for Jura, he wants the 9 tails, because it's a tailed beast, and the 10 tails is made up of all the 9 tails, you know what I'm saying? So then Hidari is Sasuke, so he wants Sarada, and then Matsuri is Moegi, and she like has feelings for Konohamaru, or they're friends or whatever, and so she wants him. Bug likes Ada, so he's going after Ada, and Ryu is really is the son of Gaara's, like the adopted son. He really cares about him. He's like, obviously I want to go after my father, so I just want to see what that would be like. Is he going to be malicious with it, or is he going to like try to talk it out? I don't know. I'm interested to see how they all feel, or like what their direction is. Like, you would think once Matsuri locks eyes with Konohamaru, she's going to attack him, try to devour him, right? But instead she gets all these feelings. Like, she has such a crush, she blushes, and then she gets jealousy, then she gets anger, and now she's like, I'm going to eat you, right? It was a build-up. And then Hidari was, I guess, a little bit more straightforward. He was just going to attack her, right? That was that side of it. And Bug will probably just attack Ada, but Damon will be in the way. And then I just want to see what Ryu's reaction would be against Gaara. But in conclusion, one-on-one Ryu versus Gaara, Ryu wins. I think he's got it. But Gaara, with this team around him, I think that they win a lot easier. You know what I mean? Like, right now they're winning, but they're just got a huge loss losing the Lodestone Sand Sealing Blade. So you add Gaara in there, he has that extra protective barrier for everybody to like protect against the Iron Sand, and being able to like match him jutsu for jutsu, being able to like hit each other and fight one another. It's interesting. It's cool to say the least. And I don't know if like Gaara probably has some more shinobi skills than Ryu, who was just born. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird to think about it, but I just want to see what that interaction would be like. And I don't know. The assumption is that they're going to save Gaara, and then moving forward, it's going to be how he can save Shinki. So I guess that's kind of the way I'm feeling right now. So I do feel like they will confront each other. Maybe not next chapter or the next one, but they will come face to face. And when they do, it's going to be interesting to see how they, basically how well what that interaction would look like, you know? So I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you think that interaction would be like. Would it be kind of peaceful and slow like it was with Matsuri, or would it be more like, I need to eat Gaara and go straight for an attack, you know? Let me know what you think. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Yeah.